Community participation. Is there anyone who would like to address the board? Please state your name and address.
I'm Kim Oakland. I am the president of the Warren County Education Association and a teacher at S.C. Jeffries. I don't want to take too long because we have good stuff coming up here, and I want to see. I think there might even be a few former students there, I'm not sure. But I did want to say thank you. It takes a lot of courage to do things and make decisions that are difficult and that will cause people's taxes and things to perhaps go up, or at least that's what you're asking. And you're doing it for the good of our children. I'm not here to talk about teachers' salaries or anything. I'm here to say we need to adopt the budget that you are looking at this evening for the sake of our students. And that's really all I need to say. I know you know that.
Yes, thank you. Thank you for your continued support. You're always here supporting us.
It's mutual.
Is there anyone else who would like to address the board? Okay. Bear with me, my computer keeps flashing out. Well, I just have to keep hitting renew. Consent agenda. Is there a motion for the consent agenda?
Madam Chairman, I move we accept the consent agenda as presented.
Second. All those in favor, aye?
Aye.
Motion carries. Thank you. Reports. Warren County High School Musical, Freaky Friday, Mr. Fox.
Good evening. It is my pleasure in just a moment to introduce Chris Whitney and Beth Whitney. Just need to point out quickly that Chris and Beth are both products of Warren County Public Schools and our fine arts programs. And they are about to have their students, their troupe, put on quite a performance for you guys. There's going to be an added degree of difficulty with this podium in the middle of everything, so I can only imagine what it looks like on the full stage. So before I go any further up, Mr. Whitney.
Before you get started, Mr. Whitney, if there are any parents that would like to take pictures, you might have a better view if you come stand up behind us.
Good evening, everybody. My name is Chris Whitney, and I'm the theater teacher at Warren County High School. I'm here today with my collaborator, the amazing music director and WCHS choir director, Beth Whitney. I'd also like to recognize our choreographers, Brooke Biggie and Jennifer Vargazano, who's back there. All right, they are both visionaries. And lastly, and most importantly, I'm here today with our hardworking and passionate students. All right. On behalf of all of us, thank you, Superintendent Drescher and school board members, for having us here today. In 1972, Mary Rogers wrote a comedic children's novel entitled Freaky Friday. It was later adapted into 3 movies and is now a new musical. Warren County High School is the first high school in the surrounding area to actually produce this musical. It is a story about a daughter and a mother and their relationship. And it deals with many themes, most notably empathy. It's relevant and it's a universal story that showcases that, you know, even when you spend a lot of time with someone, whether it's parents or children or teachers and students, you still don't really know what it's like to actually be them until you walk a day in their shoes. All right, we are presenting Freaky Friday, the musical, at Warren County High School on March 28th, 29th, and 30th. I welcome you all. I hope that you're all able to come. Without any further ado, the Maroon Mass are proud to present At Last It's Me from Freaky Friday the Musical.
One day it's not like another. When you expect the same old thing, so true. I'm telling you, brother, just don't play that game. You have tomorrow to run to, so don't be stuck in yesterday. Why not embrace the someone who loves you
our reflection. Move too long, it's all that we ever know. But be strong, reverse your direction, and watch your power grow. Despite and all that's around you, you only have to let it move. You'll be so glad that I found you. Your new day will begin. Today will last me forever. 'Cause today is the best I've ever been. Let's be looking at me. It's me. Let's be finally free. I'm free. You to show me who to be. Gonna live in the now. Know just how to show you that I know you and you'll see. The past is in the past. Last is me. Oh, I know you know I'll see. Oh, let the past be the past. Last it's me. Oh, I know you know I'll see. Oh, let the past be the past. The last is me.
It's all right. It's okay. Good enough. Thank you.
That was great. You all are going to be spending 3 more weeks practicing? Yeah. Wow. You're going to be phenomenal. Thank you. That was really nice. Thank you. Now, if you all want to stay for the remainder of the school board meeting, that's fine. However, if you would like to leave and go home and start working on your homework, that's also a good idea.
Before you go, I would like to say thank you to everybody. Thanks to the Warren County High School musical troupe that came out. Thank you to the parents that came and supported. That is awesome. Appreciate you doing that. Thank you to Mr. and Mrs. Whitney. Thank you very much. Thank you. Thank you for this. I need this.
Thank you for having us.
So, thank you very much. Enjoy your evening.
Thank you. And that's not easy, walking in or dancing in a small confined area that you're not used to with the podium there. Great job.
Have kids in the speaker.
Superintendent report, Mr. Drescher.
All right, thank you. I just would like to highlight this evening the changes in our school calendar. We have had, I think it's 11 snow days or weather days, which has used up all of our weather makeup days. So any day that was designated as a weather makeup day is now a school day, which means that our spring break is down to the Thursday and Friday before the Easter Sunday and the Monday after. So it'll be Thursday, Friday, and the Monday after. And then we are going, the last day of school will be June 6th. Graduations will still be June 1st. So I just wanted to highlight those things. If schools have not already sent that out, they will. And we will send reminders as it comes up on times where days have changed. So I'll make sure that happens. And that is my report.
Okay, thank you. School board reports, Mr. Williams.
I have nothing for this evening.
Mr. Wells.
Just thanks to students, 15 years on the school board, and I've always said we need more music for meetings. No, they were great, and I look forward to seeing them on the stage. And I just appreciate everybody hanging in during the weather situations. It's a chance call sometimes. Safety is paramount, and I'm at least glad to hear from folks that they appreciate the fact that we choose safety over marginal days. That's all.
Just echo Mr. Wells, it's the same thing, and I enjoyed the
the high school performance and report, like I said, on a stage where they're not having to work around the podium and they can actually see the ending. That would be nice.
They seem very well prepared, so
Yeah.
for 3 weeks now.
And I have no report for tonight. Action agenda. Approval of the Anna Marie Dalton Early Childhood Education Scholarship and the Anna Marie Dalton Health Pursuits Scholarship for Mr. Fox.
Anna Marie Dalton attended Warren County High School and graduated in 2013. On February the 19th, 2019, Anna Marie tragically passed as the result of a car collision. Anna attended daycare classes and worked as a daycare teacher for 2 years. More recently, she was working at the Walmart pharmacy as a pharmacy technician. Her family would like to give 2 $100 scholarships in her memory: the Anna Marie Dalton Early Childhood Education Scholarship and the Anna Marie Dalton Health Pursuits Scholarship. One scholarship would go to a student pursuing a career in early childhood education, and another for a student pursuing a career in the health field.
Is there a motion? Madam Chair, I make a motion. I move that we accept the Anna Marie Dalton Early Childhood Education Scholarship and the Anna Marie Dalton Health Pursuits Scholarship with gratitude. Second?
Second.
All those in favor, aye? Motion carries. Thank you.
Thank you.
And thanks to the family for offering these 2 scholarships. I'm sorry for their loss. That was very recent.
Yes.
And, thank you. Approval of the fiscal year 2020 proposed budget. Mr. Drescher.
Okay, I'll be reviewing just highlights from our discussions over the last month or so on the budget. At our work session, we went over all of these things that I'll be talking tonight, but I just want to highlight those. The budget being proposed for adoption and presentation to the Board of Supervisors reflects the most immediate needs of the division as determined through numerous individuals and group staff meetings, as well as 3 school board work sessions over the past several months. Specifically, the changes to the current budget that are being proposed for fiscal year 2020 are a 3% salary increase for all full-time contracted employees required to receive the state funding initiative, the complete remainder of the step increase initiated in the current fiscal year, year 1 of the 3-year phase-in of the compensation plan will address teachers, some groups of teachers, and some support staff, and to add 4 of the 63 needed positions recognized in the compensation and benefit study, and then an increase to our utility budget. Additional needs not included in the proposed budget are listed on the attached fiscal year 2020 budget request spreadsheet, and 4 of the requested positions are included in that proposed budget. The budget includes the following highlights: $59,594,893 total anticipated revenue and expenditures based on the state budget approved by the General Assembly. A $2,308,869 increase, which is 9.4% to an increase of local funding. There's 3 attachments that are on the board docs information, and anyone that would require those in another way, they can just contact our office and we'd be happy to get that information to them. So we've gone through all our budget needs. This certainly does not meet every need that we have. The biggest thing that this budget is doing this year is working on that phase-in of the compensation plan study, which I think is critical to becoming competitive, keeping our staff here with us after we train them. And as I've mentioned in, I think, every meeting now, we've noticed a slight decline in our student achievement that I believe is directly attributed to the fact that we have so many new people year after year. And it's making a difference to our kids, which is what our primary mission is. So I feel like you guys and all of us have really worked hard at trying to not over-ask There are a number of things in this budget that we have not asked for, knowing that this is a big ask, to be able to do this step one and add the other things that we need to do. So there's further comments we'd like to make this evening, let's do that, but otherwise I think I'd suggest we adopt the budget as we work through it.
Any comments?
I have a comment and a question, Mr. Drescher. First, the question: when do we present, if we adopt this tonight, when do you go and present to the Board of Supervisors?
I'm sorry.
That's all right.
Distracted.
I know. Mr. Wells.
It's in, you mentioned when is
yes, if it's adopted.
do you remember the dates, Mr. Valentine? I know you're good at that.
Well, the Board of Supervisors has several more work sessions, but quite honestly, we presented this past Tuesday, yesterday, to the Board of Supervisors in their work session. They had asked the superintendent to come, so not knowing for sure that you would adopt it exactly like this, but we presented it where it was at this stage. So they really have had it presented to them in this form. Now, if you change it tonight, certainly we would need to go back and update them on that, but I don't know that they will ask for another meeting with us. I'm not sure.
No.
Probably
They have a
not.
public hearing.
There will be a public.
So, what was the feeling in the room, Mr. Drescher, when you presented it? I mean,
I think the feeling
positive?
was positive.
Okay.
I think they listened intently as they did in our joint meeting.
Okay.
They had very few questions. I think in all of the conversations that have gone on, quite honestly, in the last 3 years about this very topic,
right.
I think everyone involved is well aware of the need. And I hear no argument about that. I don't hear any argument at all about the need being there. It's the funding that needs to occur.
Okay, thank you. My comments or my thoughts are, I've been here for 5 years now, and every year our teachers turn over. I have 2 sons in school. Both of them this year have new teachers. And when you look at the numbers across the board, when you're losing 60, 70 teachers every year to localities, not Loudoun County, but to Frederick County, Stevens City, part of Frederick County, which is, a 15-minute ride. Our teachers are good teachers, but for the money, I understand riding, 10, 15 minutes each way. So it costs more to train an employee, and I don't care what your business is, but to train and retain an employee costs you a whole lot more than can be measured in dollars and cents. It's measured in our children, all of our children. Tonight, Good Testament, all the children in here, very talented. And Ms. Bauer said, what could they do on a stage without a podium and this thing in the way? So to get back to the point is we need to do something. This is a year that we, as a group, as a community, have to do something to take care of our teachers. Or continue the turnover rate and make it hard on the senior teachers, the senior staff of Warren County school systems, and most importantly, our children. That's who suffers ultimately. And we do. We turn out a ton of kids that do wonders. We really do. But what could we do? We have state-of-the-art buildings. What could we do if we had our turnover rate was 2% a year instead of, Skyline, I saw one of them like it's 77%. 74. Skyline Middle School. That's just tough. I feel for everybody that works in that school. And I know this group, every year that I've been here, is asked to do it. And I think they use the old phrase, kicking the can down the road. I think the can's wore out, and we have to do something. Not as the Board of Supervisors did us, but as a community. It's time. That's all I have.
Well said.
Thank you.
Thank you. Anyone else? I want to thank you, Mr. Drescher, for getting out in the community. I know you've been speaking to not only the Board of Supervisors, but to many community organizations and groups, and explaining things and letting them know where we stand and what we need. I appreciate that. I think the community and the public needs to know what's going on. Okay, is there a motion?
Madam Chairman, I move that the proposed fiscal year 2019-2020 operating budget in the amount of $59,594,893, with a total local contribution of $26,944,447, and the cafeteria fund budget in the amount of $2,809,800 be approved for submission to the Warren County Board of Supervisors.
All those in favor, aye.
Aye.
Motion carries. Thank you. Reclassification of E. Wilson Morrison elementary principal position. Mr. Drescher.
All right. At the May 16, 2018 Warren County School Board meeting, the school board approved the superintendent's recommendation for a transitional period of 1 to 2 years that the existing principal position of E. Wilson Morrison Elementary be reclassified as an additional assistant principal position. Additionally, it was recommended that temporarily the responsibilities of the E. Wilson Morrison Elementary principal be added to the Director of Elementary Instruction. Thank you, Mrs. Russo. With its 1-year conclusion, it is recommended that the Warren County School Board approve the reclassification of the E. Wilson Morrison Elementary principal position from an assistant principal position back to a principal position, and that the responsibilities of the principal that were temporarily assigned at the May 16, 2018 school board meeting be removed from the Director of Elementary Instruction position effective June 30, 2019. Thus restoring the original E. Wilson Morris administrative staffing of 1 principal and 1 assistant principal. We need to take this action in order to appoint somebody.
Is there a motion?
Madam Chair, I make a motion. I move that the Warren County School Board approves the reclassification of the E. Wilson Morrison Elementary principal position from an assistant principal position back to a principal position, and that the responsibilities of the principal that were temporarily assigned on our May 16, 2018 school board meeting be removed from the Director of Elementary Instruction position effective June 30, 2019, thus restoring the original E. Wilson Morrison administrative staffing of 1 of the principals and 1 assistant principal.
All those in favor, aye.
Aye.
Motion carries. Thank you. March 6, 2019 Personnel Report Addendum. Mr. Drescher.
Well, typically the personnel addendum is part of the consent agenda. Because we needed to take this action, I would just ask that you review the personnel report addendum and approve that.
Madam Chairman, I move that we accept the proposed, the personnel report addendum as presented.
All those in favor, aye.
Aye.
Motion carries.
All right, having done that, I would like to just take a minute and congratulate Mr. Shane Goodwin, who's in the audience here. Shane, you've seen Shane? Congratulate Wilson Elementary School for the wonderful work that they've done this year. It's been a lot of work, and it's been nice to have 3 really top-notch administrators. We're going to have to try to do it with 2. But I know you can do it. So Mr. Goodwin comes to us from South Carolina. This year, his wife is the new pastor. I don't know if it's new anymore or not, at First Baptist, right?
That's right.
And this seems to be a special day in church. Ashley?
She would be here tonight, except she's offering the sermon tonight at the Methodist Church.
At the Methodist
Church.
We're all gathered here. So, but I notice you have your 2 children with you this evening.
I do, if I could introduce them. This is my daughter Paige and my son Reed. Reed is a junior at Skyline High School, and our daughter Paige is a sophomore at Furman University in Greenville, South Carolina. Thank you.
Good to see you. So just congratulations, Mr. Goodwin, and we really look forward to your work at E. Wilson Morrison, and thank you to Stephanie and Lisa for your work there too. So thank you.
Yes. Thank you. Congratulations. And I also want to thank Lisa Russo for the job you've done this year. I guess you felt like Superwoman sometimes, having to sort of juggle a couple different positions. Thank you. Is there any further business? No further business? Meeting adjourned.